Everybody, welcome. It's the Friday edition of Fox and Friends. We are in hour 3, and you know what happens every hour 3 on a Friday?
We start counting down to Friday.
By introducing Geraldo Rivera. He joins us every Friday, has for many, many years. He joins us from Cleveland right now. Hey, Geraldo.
Hi, and I got the memo on blue.
That's right,
blue.
the blue check.
Hey,
even Jillian, I saw.
Let's move from blue to green. And what do you make of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal, which would essentially remake everything as we know it? 100% of the energy clean and renewable. Upgrade every building to make it more energy efficient. On and on. Expand to high-speed rail.
No more planes.
Yeah, all that.
Geraldo, now when you want to come to New York, you have to walk.
Now, how about that high-speed train?
Oh, yeah, there's that, too.
I think that would work.
As long as it doesn't run on fossil
Except
fuels.
if you live in Hawaii.
You've got to hire John Henry.
You know, I'm, as you know, a fan of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She represents a district in which 3 of my grandchildren reside. I went to Fort Schuyler Maritime College in that district. She represents much of the borough of Queens, which is the, the epicenter of immigration in America. 138 languages are spoken in the borough. It's estimated 300,000 residents in the borough are undocumented immigrants. I mean,
so what do you think about the deal?
It is maybe a modern Brave New World.
What do we think about the deal?
Well, the Green New Deal is, I think that it is idealistic, it is aspirational, it is kind of future think, it's a wish
You aspire
list.
for total control? You aspire to support the people that don't work?
No, you aspire to get rid of pollution, Brian. You aspire to get rid of traffic. You aspire to make the world environmentally a place where it is sustainable. For instance, there should be throughout the southwestern part of the United States and Florida and Puerto Rico, certainly, every house should have solar power. All those canyons, all that wind. There are alternatives. I think that absolutism is what curtails the dream of the progressive part of the country.
But Geraldo,
how do they pay for it?
The other thing is physics. I mean, they haven't figured out how to do this stuff yet. Physics. I mean, you're right. It is idealistic, but at the same time, it is, it's been the wish list of it's been a lot of goals for people on the political left for a long time. Now they're all on this one little document right here that's a resolution that every Democrat, and let me ask you that, how hard is it going to be for every Democrat in Congress to vote on this?
Well, I think that there is no legislation. This is only,
it's a resolution right now.
A wish list,
right?
A wish list, kind of. You and I, Steve, never argue. Unlike me and Brian, we agree on everything except global warming. When I look at the last 5 years and I look at the record high temperatures, to me, there is evidence that something has to change to keep those temperatures from continuing to go up. And global warming or climate change or, however you
But this is a step back, Geraldo. This is so impractical and implausible. It's a huge step back. This makes people say this is farcical.
Geraldo, how do you justify working really hard? You've worked so hard in your career. How do you justify working your tail off to make the money that you have, and then you have to give 90% of it away, and you have to give it to people... Right, and you have to give people your money because they're unwilling to work. It's not that they can't. They choose to stay at home and spend your money.
Again, Ainsley, I think that is the kind of gracious generosity of the young who won't be paying the bill for the other folk, as you indicate.
I think the young people can still choose to stay home. A 20-year-old could choose to stay home.
But if we don't dream... But Ainsley, if we don't dream,
but this is a nightmare.
Like we're going to go to the moon by the end of the decade. Now we're saying we're going to go to Mars. We have to promise.
Yeah, right. Don't you like? Do you like planes, Geraldo? Can't we fly planes?
I was in Beijing in 1998, where you couldn't see the hand in front of your face because of the smog. Living in Los Angeles for many years, you sat on that highway and you couldn't see the sky, you couldn't see the mountains, you couldn't see the buildings.
You made a terrific point. If the United States bought into the whole new Green New Deal, and we did it, everything in 10 years. What about Beijing? If China, the world's biggest economy, size-wise, winds up pumping out that stuff, that's not going to really help us, is it?
Well, I think what you need is a combination of AOC's dreams and President Trump's pragmatism. He's the one who says no socialism, build your own life, build yourself up. She says take care of the needy, be compassionate.
Take care of the lazy.
But that's what young people do.
Lazy.
You want them to aspire to a better world.
For those missing ambition, I got your back.
All right, so Geraldo, there's a whole list of candidates that support this. There's Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Kristen Gillibrand, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, and there's the governor of Washington State, Jay Inslee. So which one of those? So you're glad that they're supporting it. So if you like this bill, then you can vote for one of those candidates. Would you be willing to do that?
Well, there is no bill, as far as I know, yet, and I think that everyone you just named, all of them with presidential aspirations, they are trying to get onto the next big thing. They're trying to be hip. They're trying to be cool. They're trying to project that, see, we will take care of everyone in the brave new world. But they're, the grown-up, those guys, those self-serving politicians have a different motive than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Hers is a dream. Hers is the idealistic, the new world. Come on, kids, we're going to have clean air and clean water and no traffic and a world
Disney.
that works.
What is good about
we
this?
can't be the crabby. Don't be the crabby old people.
Hop on the bar car.
Don't be the crabby old people, especially you, sourpuss.
What are the chances?
Geraldo, not my dream.
What are the chances, Geraldo, that this could possibly happen in 10 years? Let's say we put everything into it. Zero. Exactly.
Zero. Zero. There won't be a Green New Deal, but hopefully by expressing the most you want, you protect the least you need. Right. In other words, you want to make sure that the national monuments don't get whittled away. You want to make sure that there are alternative energy sources. You want to make sure that we are cognizant at least of the fact the planet is getting warmer.
We have another topic, Geraldo.
I agree, we are working.
I have another topic for you. In Virginia, it's just horrific. You have the governor. I know, but I do have a dream and ambition, and I aspire. I aspire to talk about Virginia. Let's talk about the governor, lieutenant governor, and the attorney general. One has a sexual scandal, the lieutenant governor. One is blackface in 1980s. The other one, at 19, dressed in blackface as a rapper. Where do you go from here if you are in Virginia? Who lasts?
Two quick points. I think the most horrific thing about Virginia now is that the governor is advocating this partial birth abortion, which makes you vomit. It is horrifying how he seeks to so expand reproductive rights that they even include possible infanticide. I absolutely oppose the governor Northam for laying forth that brutality. Now he has to deal with a situation that were he watching someone else be exposed for having blackface in their college or medical school yearbook, he would be the first to demand their resignation. I think the Democrats in Virginia are screwed. I think the governor must go. I think the lieutenant governor, if he were being judged the way Brett Kavanaugh was, he would have been gone already with this credible allegation of sexual assault. And now with the attorney general, what happens now is that the speaker in the House in Virginia, I believe, is a Republican. They get to appoint a governor or a lieutenant governor. I think all three of those guys are toast. I think they're all finished. I think Virginia is in the grips of an awful crisis right now.
They have no way to get rid of them.
Their entire top management has been will be in a week or two wiped out. They've got to start from scratch.
Hey, Geraldo.
And I think they're rolling over.
Is it a double standard? Because we have a list of the Democrats who condemned Brett Kavanaugh during his hearings.
Oh yeah.
Here's the list of these 6. But then when they were asked about Mr. Fairfax, the lieutenant governor of Virginia, who's a Democrat, they avoided the criticism.
You know, Ainsley, the more you hear about politics and politicians, the less you like them, and the more you see how self-serving they really are. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Brett Kavanaugh was raked over the coals by an allegation from the last century that he did these horrific things allegedly in a prep school, in a high school,
11th grade.
In his youth. Now you have the lieutenant governor at the Democratic National Convention in Boston. exhausted in 2004, this century, this credible allegation that he forced this woman to perform oral sex on him and that there was nothing consensual about it. I think that to see them respond so negatively to the Republican and so positively or reluctantly to the Democrat exposes what we all know, self-serving, hypocritical, they care only about, satisfying an agenda. There's lockstep with the party loyalty. That's part of what's gumming up the ability to move forward on this border issue. Okay, I'm sorry, Inslee.
No, time's up. All right. Geraldo, thank you very much for joining us live from Cleveland.
I said I was going to start a whole new topic.
No, I know. We're done. But you had the final word. Absolutely zero chance.
Brian, I'll see you later.
Great.
Yeah.